Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Happy Thursday evening to you, or as I like to refer to it as Happy Friday Eve. Today we are going to be working on our block party series where we're going to be making two pieces of one of the blocks from our 1,000 Blocks book. And I'm really excited for this one. This one is called Heartfelt. Right, yes, it's called Heartfelt, which goes along with February's theme of love and Valentine's Day and things like that. So today we're going to be doing a little bit of technique work with this particular block. So we're going to be challenging ourselves ever so slightly to make sure that we know what skills we need, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I've gotten a couple of messages from a couple of people that have put this block together already ahead of schedule, and they've told me to be very careful with my scant 1/4 inch seams. So I'm going to do my very best to be very careful, but I do appreciate them reaching out to me and letting me know all about it. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week so far. I am doing pretty well so far. I actually had a dentist appointment this morning, but everything went well. Everything's fine, so we're all good to go there. I'm not really drinking anything alcohol-wise today, this evening. Just sticking with some traditional water today. I've got this horrible pain in my shoulder, and I've had it for the last couple of days now. And so I've just kind of been babysitting that a little bit, trying to figure out if it's really something I need to call the doctor about or not. So for right now, I'm just kind of trying to take it a little bit easy. So this whole arm is just kind of sore. So we're gonna push through. Sorry, got distracted there for a second. So anyway, so we're gonna be putting together two of the same block today. It's called Heartfelt. It is on page 385, I believe, of our 1,000 Blocks book. It is block number 556. We're going to be making some flying geese, and then we're going to be using some triangles to put this block together. So I've already cut up some of my fabric. You can see it down here. You guys get a little bit of a sneak peek of what our Norfolk quilt is going to look like. Our Norfolk pieces are going to look like this coming Sunday. I want to use some of the scraps from that project to cut some pieces for this one. I had to add a couple of extra pieces of fabric to this one as well because I didn't quite have the exact sizes that I needed for this project, so I did have to pull one of my fat quarters out of my stash and use that, but that's all right. But we are going to go ahead and get started. I know we've got a lot of friends that are at QuiltCon this week, so I totally understand. You know, our group's a little bit smaller this week, but that's okay. If they're watching after the stream, if they're watching afterwards, we just wanted to say hi to them. We are so jealous that you are there and we are not. Maybe someday we'll make it over there. Who knows? Let me hop into chat really quick, say hi to everybody there in chat, and then we're going to go ahead and get started with our Heartfelt block. Alright, so let me scroll all the way up. The first person in chat with this today was Linda, so thank you so much, Linda, for being part of the channel and being the very first person in chat. I really appreciate that. It's usually either Linda or Brant46 that's one of the first people in the chat, so I really appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, Lucas is in the house. Hi Lucas, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well, sir. I know that Tony has went back to school, so I'm sure things have calmed down a little bit at your household. Just in time for a nice long work week, so that's good. Fern King is here. Thanks, Fern. I don't know what I'm like having trouble talking today. Fern King is here. Hi, Fern. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here, for joining us. So Terry is also here. So Terry is also one of our moderators. So thank you, Terry, so much for being here, and thank you so much for all your hard work. She does a fantastic job being a moderator. I absolutely love it. Love her so much for that, so thank you very, very much for that. If you guys are not already, please make sure you head over to her channel and give her a sub and a like. She's got some really cool things that she's been doing over there on her channel. I've been watching her and living vicariously through her a little bit. Let's see. Just trying to see who else is in chat here, so sorry about that. Teresa Lynch is also here. Hi, Teresa. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for being here today. This evening. We really appreciate you being here. Thanks so much for that. Naomi is also here. Hi, Naomi. Happy Thursday evening to you. Patty says, good evening, everyone. Hi, Patty. Good evening. I hope you're well. I hope you're having a fantastic week so far. Gladys is also here. Hi, Gladys. She says, hello, everyone. Hi, Gladys. Thanks so much for being here. Happy Thursday evening or happy Friday Eve to you. I'm so glad you're here with us this evening. Thanks so much for that. Let's see. Sorry, still scrolling. Hi, Brenda. She says, hey, I had a nap. Well, good for you, Brenda. I actually had to work from home today because I had my dentist appointment earlier today, so I didn't get a nap. I wish I could gotten a nap. A nap sounds like it might be nice. I might not have so much trouble talking if I had had a nap, so either way. I'm glad you're here this evening with us. Thank you so much for being here. What about the misprint on piece E? Ooh, I didn't even catch a misprint. Where is there a misprint on piece E? Is there a misprint? What did I miss? I haven't seen anything yet. Am I missing something? I'm looking over here because my pattern, you guys can see it just off camera here. I've got it right here. What is the misprint on? You're going to have to let me know what that is. I don't know anything about that. This winter, Patty says, this winter is a rough one. I think, weather-wise, I think it's been a pretty mild winter. You know, at least, you know, here in Illinois it has been. Teresa says, that might be why mine did not come out right. I don't see Brenda Foley's commands. I don't know what commands she's trying to do. I mean, I see her in chat. I'm just not sure. It's supposed to be square. Print is not square measurement. Terry, I see Brenda's comments. Maybe you accidentally blocked her or something. Oh, there she goes. Okay. It's supposed to be square. Print is not square measurement. Huh. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and find out when we get there. Maybe that's why it won't quite lay the way we want it to. The first thing we want to do, though, is we want to go ahead and make some flying geese. So let's go ahead and get started, and we'll see what happens here. Maybe I need to adjust something. You guys will have to help me out. Patty says, I'm binge watching Stuart Hillard Japanese rice bag video. Love his accent and the bag. LOL. Well, that's good. All right, so we got to make 4 flying geese. So we're going to start out with, sorry guys, a fabric A and then a fabric B's. Now the fabric B's, I went ahead and I've marked them already with my with a line down from corner to corner so that we can make them. We're going to have to make 4 flying geese with these pieces. Now I have to be honest with you and tell you that I had to Google it because I couldn't remember how to do it. I couldn't remember how to make the flying geese. So I had to Google it earlier, but I got it figured out now. So basically we're going to be taking one of these pieces. We're going to be taking 2 of our squares here. We're going to be taking our diagonal line this way and our diagonal line this way. And we're going to be sewing along both sides. Lining those pieces up. I'm going to grab a couple of pins just to keep them in here. Got my brand new pins that I just picked up a week or so ago. Do you ever check your patterns for updates or corrections? Because sometimes they do. Linda, you know, I do not. I don't, because I grabbed them off the book. So if there's a way to do that, you guys will have to let me know how to do that. But no, I don't, honestly. So let me go ahead and run a pin through this side here. Brenda says, maybe it's only in my book. Maybe it's only in my book. Mine said to cut E something besides a square. Oh, no, mine says that fabric E is a 3/8 by 3/8 square. So maybe that's the problem. Maybe it's a different version of the book. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pin these real quick. I'm just running a pin right down the center line because we're going to be sewing along both sides of it. Well, if you're going to binge watch somebody, Naomi, that is a good one to binge watch. She says she's been binge watching Sean from The Guy Who Sews. I'm sure he'll be here at some point this evening. He usually pops in for a little while to say hello to us. All right. So let's go ahead and we're going to run. So I've got the 2 squares here. Oh, let me flip the camera so you guys can actually see what I'm doing here. Hang on. All right. So here's my pieces. So this is my A fabric and this is my B fabric. And so I took 2 B squares and I've got them corner to corner. And there's a line. You guys can't see it on the camera, but there's a line that I've drawn from corner to corner. And we're going to be sewing 1/4 of an inch on either side. And that's going to be the start of our half square triangles. So I'm going to go ahead and line up my... And of course I pinned these backwards, of course, but that's alright. So I'm going to go ahead and start sewing them up on one side. And I've got right sides together on this. Pull this pin. Once you've got one side sewn up, it makes it kind of easy to do. And so then I'm going to leave my needle down and just spin it around and sew up on the other side now. I do look for corrections. None given. Need to be bigger. Excuse me. Alright. Well, I guess we're going to wait and find out. I guess we're going to see what happens here. Yeah, mine says 3/8 inch by 3/8 inch. That's what my my directions said to do, so that's what I did. But I guess we're going to have to wait and find out. Could be fun. Could be lots of fun. Let's see. So now I'm going to do the other one real quick. So 1/4 inch down one side and then 1/4 inch down the other of our drawn line. Alright. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to slice down that line. So what we're doing here is we're making some flying geese, and we're doing this the quick method. So you start with a big block and four littler block, or 2 bigger little. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. 2 little blocks, and that turns into 4 flying geese. There we go. There's that. There's half. Hi, Dawn. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Friday Eve to you. Hope you're well. Alright. On Amazon Prime, it's an extreme reality game. $500,000 on the line. Oh, wow. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and press these open. Let's go ahead and press these real quick. My iron was on just a second ago. Yeah, it's still on. So right now it looks kind of like a heart, which is kind of cute. But we actually want it to be a flying geese, so we're going to go ahead and open this up for now. But you guys get a little bit of a sneak peek of the fabrics that we're going to be using on Sunday's video for our Norfolk live stream. These are some of the new fabrics that we're going to be working with. Could the pattern difference have to do with the book edition? Terry, it very much could. It very much could have to do with the book edition. I didn't see an edition number on mine. I can check the copyright on it, though. But, yeah, of course, leave it to me, to pick the one block that there's an issue with, of course, right? Okay, so now we've got these 4 pieces here. So now we've got 4 more pieces that 4 more of these small squares. We're going to, again, you guys can't see it, but there's a line drawn from corner to corner. We're going to match that up to the corner here, like this. So I'm just going to run a pin down the middle of it, right on the line, so that it keeps everything together. You don't have to use a pin if you don't want to. I'm just doing that to keep it all straight. There we go. Get the other ones together here. I'll pin it this way because this is the way I'm going to be sewing it. You know, these are brand new pins, but I gotta tell you, they're not super sharp. I've heard it, Terry. The beast mode I think you're talking about. I've heard that one, yeah. Mr. Wizard and I have been watching Night Agent and Recruit on Netflix. I've also been catching up on Sweet Magnolias on Netflix as well. Okay. There we go. Alright, so now I've got those ironed up. So now we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to sew a half, quarter inch on either side. And then that is going to actually give us our 4 flying geese that we need. Let's pin up. Mr. Beast on Amazon Prime, you said? That's what they're talking about right now. How is everybody's week going so far? I know there's been some snow in some of the southern states. I think Memphis got hit pretty hard. I heard the cotton cuts got hit pretty hard too. So if you were waiting for your flyaway colorway to show up, it may be delayed by a day or two because of the weather. I have not heard from Mama Joyce or my aunt if they have received theirs yet. I'm assuming that they haven't because I feel like if they had, they would have said. So I'm guessing that they haven't gotten them yet, but you never know. There we go. Terry says it shipped on Friday, got here on Tuesday. Not bad. Yeah, that's not bad at all. That's pretty good. Alright. This arm is just killing me, guys. It hurts really bad. Like, I don't want to over-exaggerate, but I feel like I might have torn something. And I don't even know. The worst of it is I don't even know how I did it. Like, I just woke up one morning and it was a little sore and it just progressively keeps getting worse. So I don't know if I moved funny in my sleep or what, but it really hurts. Last one, and then we're going to go ahead and slice these up, and then we will have 4 flying geese. So with one big square, one big square, and 4 littler squares, you can make 4 flying geese. Alright, let's go ahead and slice these up. Terry says, I hurt myself in my sleep every night now. Yeah, well, I don't usually hurt myself in my sleep, but I did something because it really hurts. And like I said, it's been bothering me a couple of days now, and it's like, it just keeps getting worse and worse. I may actually have to break down and go see the doctor. I don't know, it's either, I either pulled something or tore something, or I'm just having spasms of some kind. Because it like my neck, my shoulder, the top of my back, it's all really, really sore. And it seems like no matter what movement I do, it just seems to aggravate it. So I am taking some pain meds to help with it, some anti-inflammatories. I've been using heat and ice. Neither one of them seems to really do a whole lot, but Teresa Lynch. Trust me, we are not. We are not hanging from the ceiling, that is for sure. Yeah, it's sore, whatever it is. Yeah, Terry, I'm gonna try. That is my next step in the process of trying to figure out how to get this to feel better. Is I actually plan to shower after the live stream tonight and just kind of let the hot water run on it. I do have it's I forget what you call it, but it's basically a bean bag. It's like a tube, and it's full of beans in it, and you pop it in the microwave for a couple minutes to warm it up, and then you can just kind of let it in. That usually works really, really well for sore muscles. I use it a lot. So I did try that, but it really did not seem to do anything at all, and the ice doesn't really seem to do much either. So I don't know what it is. I don't know what I did. I have no idea. All I know is that it really hurts. It really hurts. So we're just trying to take it easy, moving a little slow. I'm kind of a little distracted by, you know how that happens, like when you're sore, something just kind of distracts you. Yeah, it's kind of like that, Terry. It's like a rice bag. Yeah, it's very similar to that. All right, so we're going to trim these up real quick. Does it say what they need to be trimmed to? No, it doesn't. Okay, so I'm just going to cut the dog ears off on these. It looks like they're about 2.5 inches, so I'm just going to go ahead and trim up the dog ears. I probably should have changed the blade on this. I was doing some cutting over the weekend. I bought, and I don't know if I told you this, guys, or not, but I bought some stuff to make my own alphabetties. And so I was cutting the plastic to make them, and I kind of messed with the blade on my cutting wheel here a little bit. I kind of jacked it up a little bit. I probably needed to change the blade out, but that's alright. We'll manage. We'll tough it out. Just like I'm doing with my shoulder. I'm toughing it out. But since I am taking pain meds today, I opted not to partake in any adult beverages, just to be on the safe side. I'm sure it would have been okay, but rather safe than sorry. So I am simply drinking water tonight. But trust me, I do miss the tequila. Maybe the tequila would have helped. I don't know. Maybe it would have helped. Trimming these up real quick. It should only take us a second or two to trim them. It won't take us very long. I'm not doing any crazy measurements. I'm just cutting off the dog ears. Patty says, I wrecked my right shoulder lifting a tote of fabric. I tried to file a workman's comp report, but the older I get, the less I listen. Yeah, Patty, that's, like I said, I don't think I did anything to it. I just woke up one morning and it was tender, and it was like, oh, okay, you know, obviously, you know, sometimes you sleep funny and you're like, oh man, I slept on that wrong, you know? And so that's kind of what I figured it was, but it just keeps getting worse. It is most definitely not getting any better. But they do say that it always gets worse before it gets better. So I'm hoping that to be true as well. Where are the pepperonis? They are probably down the hall with Mr. Wizard. I do kind of have the door semi-closed. I mean, it's not like latched. I mean, the door is, you know, but it's not latched. They may come down later. Who knows? If I start shaking something, they'll probably come running. They're usually they like Mr. Wizard more than they like me because he feeds them. He gives them food every day, so they like him more. That one's going to be a little jacked up. Sorry. That's okay. Jerry says, I think about lifting something and I feel pain. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what I did. I haven't lifted anything heavy. I haven't... Yeah, I don't know. So I'm just trying to take it a little bit easy and not think about it too much. Trying to keep myself distracted so I don't think about it. And it's kind of an on and off thing, like for a while it'll hurt for a while and then it'll just disappear and it'll be like, oh, reprieve, you know, like no more pain, and then it'll come back. So I'm thinking it's a muscle spasm of some kind. I get a lot of muscle spasms in my lower back, so I'm pretty familiar with those. Hi Linda, welcome back. I know you probably stepped away there for a minute. It does not take much when we get older, you know. Our fur babies act like we never feed them. Oh, I know. Yeah, no, they do. And they've conned me. Like, because Mr. Wizard, you know, he goes to his club meetings, and so every once in a while, if he and I don't communicate together, I'll, like, for whatever reason, I'll forget that he fed them dinner, and then I'll feed them dinner again. And so they con me into a second dinner sometimes. Every now and again. So usually Mr. Wizard, if we don't see each other when he leaves, he'll usually leave me a note that just says, I fed the dogs, don't let them fool you. So they're kind of funny like that. Alright, this is our last one here, folks. It wasn't going to take us very long, just a couple of minutes to get these trimmed up. So, alright, so those are all trimmed up. Let me grab my cup here. You guys can see I'm moving kind of awkward. Alright. Alright, so those are our flying geese. So that was step one. And then basically all we need to do is put all of our pieces together. We do have a little bit of subcutting to do real quickly though. So let me go ahead and do that. The directions do say that a couple of these squares need to be cut into triangles. And I did not do that yet. So let's go ahead and do that up real quick. So we need our D fabric, which is this stack here. We need to cut these up into triangles, so let's go ahead and do that. There's a couple of them. I don't want to cut up too many at a time here because my blade is pretty dull right now. I should probably change it, and we'll see. Hopefully it won't take me too long. So I'm just gonna kind of cut these up a small chunk at a time. Fern says, I have to watch my team and water. Both cats and dogs think they need to taste everything if I leave it unguarded. Oh, your tea and water. Yeah. Ours love ice cubes. And Mr. Wizard and I drink a lot of cold drinks with ice in them. And so we have to be careful with our drinks because the dogs will try and steal the ice cubes out of the drinks. And if it's an alcoholic beverage, obviously you don't want your dogs drinking that. So we have to be careful with it. Usually, for the most part, we drink out of reusable water bottles that have a lid on them or a straw of some kind. So for the most part, they can't get in that stuff. But yeah, we have to be careful ourselves. How's everybody's week going so far? Any exciting news? Anything fun happening? How much snow did everyone end up with? If they had snow? We didn't get any snow here that I remember anyway. I don't think we did. We still have snow on the ground, so it's not like it melted all, but... Alright, so now those are our D's. And now we need our C's. And we actually have to cut those into 4. These are the big ones here. So let's go ahead and put those there. Grab this one. And then we can actually start to put this block together. The block's going to go together pretty quickly and easily. Based on the instructions that I can see here. Shouldn't be too bad. Wow, Teresa Lynch says she's got 4 inches of snow yesterday. My goodness. That's a lot of snow. Alright. Now we're going to cut these one more time. Got 4. Fern says she got about 1 inch of snow. But it's been very cold. It was chilly earlier in the week, that's for sure, yeah. It was pretty chilly. C's. Oh, I see what that is. Okay. Alright, so there's our 4 triangles for our C's. Alright, so that is really all of the pre-cutting that we needed to do. Now we can go ahead and start putting these pieces together. So let's take a look. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start with our flying geese, and we need to attach 2 D's to either side and then a C to the top. So let's see how the best way to do that is. Patty says, my week went well, hibernated until today, went grocery shopping. That's awesome, Patty. I'm really glad to hear that. Okay, so we're going to do the D's first, and then we'll do the C's. So let's do that first. So I have 1 flying geese here. So let me just flip it around so I can kind of see what I'm doing here. And then like that. And then like that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. They're going to overlap a little bit, and that's okay. That's just, you know, our seam allowance and our dog ears. We'll trim that up later. There we go. Pinning up this one so that I know what it looks like. So let's go ahead and get started with these. So we're taking this piece here, like that. No, this way. Trying to make sure that I'm doing this right. switch out my foot for my 1/4 inch presser foot. Those are the pieces that did not line up with the end of the block. No, they don't line up exactly perfect right now. And that's probably, I mean, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But usually that's because there's the dog ears going on. But we'll see how they work. But you're right, they don't line up to the end of the block. So we'll kind of have to wait and see how it goes. I'm just trying to make sure I'm orienting the pieces correctly. I'm like, I keep overthinking it. This way. Yeah, I've got a 1/4 of an inch triangle that hangs off the edge here. So, just trying to make sure that we've got it lined up the way we need it. I have to keep lining these up because I'm like, I'm gonna screw something up. I just know it. So that is the one thing about this particular book and these projects is the instructions really are not very detailed. Like they're mostly about the pictures. Is really what it comes down to. So you just kind of gotta be careful, go slow, match everything up, you know, 2-3 times before you really figure it out. So I'm taking my triangle, I'm matching it up to the bottom, and then I'm flipping it over, and there's a little bit of an overhang there. I'll show you guys on the camera here in just a second. So here's what I'm doing. I'll show you if you guys can see me on the camera. Oh, when did it? That's annoying. Sorry, guys. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Like, it's so annoying. It's supposed to be zoomed in. I don't know why it keeps doing that. It's really annoying. Alright, so I'm going to zoom it in just a little bit. There. Okay, so here's our piece here. So the way it shows it on the picture is it shows it upside down like this. Okay. And then it shows this piece lays like that. That's how it shows it. So what I'm doing is I'm putting this one on top of this one. So I've got this little bit of corner here that overhangs. And then I'm just flipping it over like this, and I'm running it through my machine this way. So this piece, right now I'm considering that just a dog ear. We might have to trim that up when we're done. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. But I think that's the piece that everybody is saying doesn't really line up. And you know what? For all I know, it's not going to line up at all, and we're going to have to do some adjusting. So we'll have to wait and see. So we'll just have to be real careful with it. Oh, did Fern get hit with the Streamlabs? Fern, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, we have to be careful with some words because of the stupid trolls. Sorry about that. It's nothing that you did. You know, we know you're fine. We welcome you on the channel. Obviously, you're not a troublemaker, but unfortunately, it's one of those all or nothing situations. Like, I can't allow it for some people and, you know, not for others kind of thing. So it's really unfortunate. I was hoping that, you know, the subscriber requirement would have caught that, you know, stopped the trolls, but it's not. It's not stopping them. So, sorry about that. So just do like Terry did and just put a couple of characters and, you know, in that word, just one or two characters, and we'll kind of get the idea of what you're trying to say. Alright, so we got one side done. Now we need to do the other side. So I'm just going to go ahead and separate these real quick. I probably could have kept them together. But then it kind of becomes a bit of a pain to manage. So let me grab this one here. So now we're just going to sew up the other side. Same thing with the other side. There's a little bit of an overlap there. We'll have to see how that looks. Ouch. I pray to God I'm doing these right. Like, I've checked 3 times, and I pray I'm doing them correctly. So... So I really don't want to have to take these all apart. Really, really don't want to have to take them apart. Please don't make me do it. Okay, I'm starting to make myself paranoid, so man, this block is going together quite quickly. Yeah, they all do. Yeah, they really all do, Fern. None of the blocks are overly difficult. Now, next month, we're going to be doing our first paper piecing project, paper piecing block, and so it does take a little bit of extra time to do those, just because paper piecing is, you know, it does take time to do that. So, so that one's going to take a little extra time, but it should be okay. Okay, so it looks like that's correct, and then, oh, ouch, we're going to take this piece here and put that one on the top. So, like, I think the overhang is just the dog ears. I think that's all that is. But we can, because it looks like we're just going to have to trim everything down just a touch to make sure it all lines up. Yeah. Because otherwise it all lines up okay. I'm going to flip this over. I'm just going to sew up this one piece so we can see what it looks like. And then we'll get the rest of them going. There we go. But yeah, the blocks usually, these little blocks go together pretty quickly. They're 12 by 12 blocks. Well, 12 and a half by 12 and a half actually. Finished size is 12 by 12. But yeah, they go together pretty quick and easy for the most part. They're not too overly difficult, but I will say the directions are not, you know, overly detailed either. So this is what the piece is going to look like when we're done with it. You can see there's a little bit of trimming that needs to be done. Let me show you what the trimming looks like. What keeps happening? All caught up now, lol. Okay, but that's what the block looks like. You can see there's some overhang here. We just gotta trim that up. That's just some dog ears from where all the triangles and stuff meet up together. But it looks like it lined up okay. Looks like everything kind of lined up the way it was supposed to. Ouch. So let's go ahead and get the rest of these blocks sewn up together, but this is what we're after. I just wanted to make sure that I was doing that right before I got too far into this, got too deeply into this and realized I was doing it wrong, so. Okay. I was, you know what it was? I was in my own head, like, I was overly paranoid that I was doing it wrong when I wasn't. Just needed to believe in myself a little bit more, have a little bit more faith. But let's face it, I'm often picking Jack out, so he's basically the co-host of this show. So better safe than sorry. So have you guys, has anyone put their pieces together for Flyaway? I'd love to see what those pieces look like in your colorway. If you wanted to post pictures in our Facebook group, that would be awesome. I've told you guys before, I'm not participating in Flyaway this time. Because we're going to be doing that, because we're doing that Norfolk quilt. And I don't regret it. I mean, I absolutely love cotton cuts, and I will definitely be back for their next project. But I just wanted to try something different this time. Excuse me. We are going to have a couple of extra pieces of this C fabric and that, or I'm sorry, the D fabric. We're going to have a couple of extra pieces of it, and that's for some corner pieces. I'll show you what those look like here in just a minute. I've got a handful of those right here. Way more than I think we need. We'll have to wait and see. Looks like we've got way more than we need. I don't think we need as many as that are there. I think I only need... Oh, I do need 8. So, okay. So maybe that's not... Okay. Let's go ahead and open these up. Now, when I put this one together, I didn't have to iron all the pieces out, so I'm going to go ahead and just finger press them for now, just to get them down. And then we'll go ahead and put everything together, and then we'll give everything a nice press. So there's that one. Terry says she's hoping to do her clue 1 tomorrow. Well, Terry, once you do, please post a picture in our Facebook group. Can't wait to see what it looks like. I think you and my aunt have the same colorway, so that'll be fun. Are you doing the large one or the small one, Terry? I think she's doing the small one, but I could be wrong. Mom and my aunt are also going to be working on another project together. It's really cool. They're going to be making a couple of quilts. They're doing the exact same quilt in 2 different colorways. Not a cotton cuts thing, but an actual full-size quilt. It's going to be really cool. The fabric, ouch, just came in for that. It's absolutely gorgeous. It is so pretty that I ended up buying some for myself because I loved it so much. So now I'm just waiting for mine to come in. Like theirs showed up. I'm just waiting for mine now. There you go. She says, yeah, Terry says, I can't afford the large. I can make it bigger if I want. I sleep with my village green at night. Love it. That's awesome, Terry. That's really awesome. Surprisingly enough, as it is, with as many quilts as I have made over the last few years here on this channel, I've only ever kept one, and that's this one right here. That's my Olympia quilt. This was also a PMQ, but that's the only one that I've ever kept for myself. Everything else I've been given away. So, alright, so here's a trick that I've shown you guys before, but to make sure that you're centering your triangles, I fold my triangle in half, and then I give it like a little press right here in the corner, just a little one, just to give me a mark, and then I line that mark up with the middle of my flying geese here, and so then that way I know that it's nice and centered when I put it on my machine. Sometimes if it's really challenging, or if I'm working with a square and I've got to do it in a square, I'll even fold the square in half too and give myself a little mark there so that the 2 marks kind of sit inside each other to make sure that they line up. Because I don't do real well with eyeballing things in the center. So here, I'll do it again. Well, I mean, you're going to see me do it a lot here because I'm going to do it for all these. But basically, I take my triangle, I fold the 2 edges together. And then I just make a crease in the center of the bottom. Then I line that up with the tip of the triangle for our flying geese. Put it on the machine. That way I know for sure that my pieces are going to be nice and lined up straight. They're going to lay centered. Something quick and easy to do. You guys have seen me do that a million times. I do it a lot with the cotton cut stuff when you gotta line up triangles and stuff together. Although cotton cuts, because they cut off the corners, so everything lines up really well. So you usually don't have to worry about it too much. Terry says, but I did give many away. I made a steampunk elephant quilt for myself a while back. It is too heavy, lol. And I have a tree of life quilt for me, and for me, and for me. There's nothing wrong with that, Terry. You know what? There's absolutely nothing wrong with keeping the pieces that you make for yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you put all the work into it, you know. I've just been giving them away. I mean, I'm getting to a point now that I don't have anybody, like everybody has at least 2 or 3 quilts from me. So I'm running out of people to give them away to. So I will get to a point where I have a stash of them, I'm sure. The puppy quilt that we're making is one that I will be keeping for myself. I may even keep the Norfolk one. I don't know. Like Tony and Lucas, I think they have like 3 or 4 of them for me, so. Sometimes I make a project and it's specifically for someone that that I'm making it specific for someone. Like my Tropics quilt, when I bought the fabric for that, I had picked that out for my aunt. When I bought the fabric, I picked out the fabric and I picked out the pattern specifically for her. So the whole time I was making it, I knew that it was going to be going to her. Which is probably one of the reasons why I kept at it, because I knew it wasn't for me. I mean, she didn't even know. Like, she never knew it was coming. You know, I never said anything to her about it. I just gave it to her for Christmas. But, with the man cave rules, as soon as I knew that I wanted, as soon as I found that fabric, I knew I wanted to give it to my stepdad. Just stuff like that. Sometimes, a pattern or a fabric line just kind of speaks to me and it screams out somebody's name. And sometimes I finish it and then I decided that I'm going to give it away to somebody. And I'm sure coming up soon I'm going to have a lot of quilts that I'm not sure who I'm going to give them to. Or if I give them away to anybody, I might just keep them for myself for a while. Who knows? Alright guys, 2 more. I know this is kind of boring, just sitting here watching me put these together. Baby quilts for friends and family. Yeah, I haven't gotten into baby quilts yet. I don't know a whole lot of people, although it seems like everybody at work, of course I work with a lot more males than I do females, but a lot of the people at work are younger than I am and are starting to get married and have families of their own. So baby quilts is probably not a bad idea. It's probably something I should start thinking about. Some of the fabrics for the baby quilts are absolutely adorable. No, don't you say it. Oh, say what? Okay, we are good, LMAO. What? Oh. 3 quilts? What are we talking about? Yes. Tony and Lucas have 3. You have more than 3 quilts, Lucas. I got news for you. Tony's got one of the very first ones I made, which was my scrap quilt. It was a gosh, what was it called? It was with the flannel fabric. That was one of the first ones I ever made. Then she's got the ballerina one. she gave me the mix and match one back, which is the one that you guys can kind of see. Well, you can't, excuse me, you can't see it right now because the screen's covering it. But it's the one down here on the bottom. That's the mix and match one. I did originally give that to Tony, and she gave it back to me. And then Lucas, they both have the Tree of Life. Oh, she's talking about a baby quilt. Got it, got it, got it. Yeah, no. There's no babies in my family yet. Not for a while. Not for a while. No babies. No babies yet. No babies. Alright, let's go ahead and get these ironed up. Let's turn that iron back on. It was a little cool down a little bit. So let's go ahead and get these ironed up and then trimmed up. Ouch. I pulled out a Batik fat quarter, this dark purple that you guys hear. It probably looks like a black or a blue on the camera, but it's actually a really dark purple. I pulled that out to go with these pieces because I thought it really fit the fabrics very well. My phone just went off. I'll sage the entire apartment, Lucas says. Ah. Too funny. You guys are funny. Naomi, yes, I do have room for a quilt ladder, and actually I have a quilt ladder. Mr. Wizard bought me one for Christmas. It's going to go right behind us. I'm actually going to move this cabinet, and I'm going to put the quilt ladder back there. So I have to do I want to do a bunch of rearranging in this room. I've got a bunch of things I want to put on the walls and things I want to move around. But with my shoulder the way it has been, I don't want to move anything right now, honestly. But yeah, that was actually one of the plans of things I was going to do this weekend, but I don't think I'm going to get to it. I think that something else has come up that I got to do, so I probably won't get to it. But yes, so I do have a quilt ladder. Mr. Wizard bought me one. He also bought me some quilt clips, which one of my co-workers had also bought me some as well to hang quilts on the walls in here. So I don't have anything on the walls barely at all in here, but I will. I will. Very soon. I think you guys saw it last Saturday or 2 Saturdays ago. Mama Joyce bought me a really cool clock. It's laser cut from a record, from like a music record, and it's the sewing machine, an old Singer sewing machine. And it's got pretty lights behind it. That'll be up on the wall at some point too. So there's a bunch of stuff coming. It's just a matter of finding the time to do it. All right, let's go ahead and trim these up real quick. Just trim it up. You know what? I'm gonna make my life a little bit easier, guys, and I'm actually gonna change my blade here. I wasn't going to because I didn't want to do it on camera, but I'm gonna need to because this thing is crap. Yes, it'll look nice on the green wall. I haven't decided if I'm gonna put it on the green wall or the white wall. I don't know which one I'm gonna put it on yet. Like, I'll hang it on both and figure out which one I like, because it's got RGB lights in the back of it. So if I wanted to, those are like the colored lights, you know, like it goes purple, green, blue, that kind of thing. Oh, I got a baby. Hi, baby. And I think that will look better on the white wall than it will on the green one. I think it'll show up nicer. So I think I'm going to end up putting it on the white wall, just so that you guys can see the lights better. But I don't know yet. Like, I don't know. Because I also have my purple, you guys have seen the big purple thing that sits on the table in here. Ouch. I've been thinking about using that, making that into a wall hanging so that it hangs on the wall, on the green wall here, and using that as a vision board when it's not, you know. Yes, there was a puppy. She came in and she said hi, and then she left right away. She's the one that hides from the camera, so she sneaks in underneath it. She literally just came in and said hi and then walked back out. She's just checking on me, make sure I'm okay. She's so sweet. So, All right, let's go ahead and trim these up. I'm hoping with a nice sharp blade, it'll make things a little bit, make my life a little bit easier. It'll go a little faster. Not actually. Unscrew that ever so slightly. So. But yeah, I've got some pictures and stuff to hang on the other walls, you know, the ones that are off camera. That I actually bought right after we painted the room. But I just haven't hung them up yet. I haven't committed to anything. I have a whiteboard. You guys obviously can't see that because it's off camera, but I have a whiteboard on the back wall over here by the door that I keep my calendar on. And my... Is the puppy there now? No, she's not here now. She left. She was here a second ago, but she left. But that's the only thing that I have on the wall right now. Part of the reason I hadn't hung anything on the walls yet was because I was kind of waiting to see if I was going to maybe get some new furniture in here. I was kind of throwing around the idea of a different sewing table or a different configuration or something. But now that I've been in the space for a little while, I kind of like the layout of it. I kind of like the way it's laid out right now. So I'm probably going to leave it the way it is for a while. And, I mean, you never know. I mean, eventually something might come up where I'm in a situation where I can afford some new furniture. But right now, that's not the case. So. Tabletop space, yeah. The one thing I really like about the tabletop that Mr. Wizard and I put together is that it's portable. Like, I can store it away. I don't have to have it out all the time, and that's kind of why I'm opting to go that route instead of like a big desk or something like that, because then I'm limited, you know, like I have to have that there at all times. Whereas with the tabletop, with the folding table and the top, I can just kind of, right now it's stashed up against a wall. Like, it's not taking up any space at all in the room, really. And, I mean, this is a bedroom, so I do have a closet in here. It's not a very big closet. It's a pretty small closet. But there is a closet in this room that I can use, that I use for storage and things like that. So I'm getting there. I kind of wanted, when I first moved in here, the reason I didn't really put anything on the walls or didn't really commit to too much of anything was just because I wanted to kind of get comfortable in the space and figure out kind of what would work and what wouldn't work, and, you know, where I wanted things to lay, and I just didn't want to make any of those decisions right away. I kind of wanted to feel it out a little bit, you know. But we've been in this room since July. It's hard to believe. And I'm starting to feel comfortable in the space. I'm starting to feel like it's my space. Like I'm, you know, starting to find that I'm moving things in places because I prefer them in one place versus another, kind of like you do in your kitchen, you know. So I'm finding myself doing those things, and now I'm starting to think things like, you know, it'd be really great if there was a shelf here, and then I could put these things on the shelf, or, you know, it'd be really great if there was a place here for me to put stuff, or, you know, things like that. So now I think I'm comfortable enough in this space now that I can start to make bigger plans of functional pieces. All right, so there we go. These are the 4 pieces. We need 4 pieces for each block, so I'm just gonna, that's what we got here. So these are all trimmed up. So now what we need to do, so that's done. So now we need to take our F pieces and we need to attach a D triangle onto the end of each one. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So for this part, I'm going to do like I did before. I'm going to take the F and I'm going to fold it in half. Just on one edge is all we need. So fold it there. Then I'm going to take this one and fold right sides together. Make a mark. And now when I lay this one on top of that one, I can put those two marks together. Except I did that wrong, didn't I? Wrong sides together, not right sides together. Wrong sides together. Put the two pieces together. One kind of fits inside the other one, so it lays nice and lined up. And I'm going to go ahead and sew that up together real quick. So we're going to do 8 of these. So let's go ahead and get those. Ooh, let go. Let go. Let go. Thank you. All right. So fold the long edge and just make a little mark. It only needs to be like a 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch of a mark there. And then wrong sides together, another mark. Now you take those two marks and one fits nests inside the other one so that you know that you're right in the center. There we go. And again, you got a little bit of overhang on these because of those triangle corners, those triangle edges. So that's where this really comes in handy, because you can't match edge to edge with these. You got to do it from the middle out. Terry says your live with Danny was very... Oh, thank you, Terry. I appreciate you saying that. This way, right? Yeah, this way. I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. I had a great time with her. I thought it was a really good discussion. I look forward to our next one. When she came to me with the idea, she immediately wanted to do it every month. She's like, let's set it up to do it every month. And I'm like, well, I have to be honest and say I was a little hesitant. I wasn't exactly sure how well it was going to go. I wasn't sure how comfortable her or I were going to be about it. I said, so why don't I just commit to one and we'll go from there. So she was really understanding about it. She got it. She understood. And so we did the first one, and it actually turned out to be really well. And so we're going to do them again. You know, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, last Sunday after our live stream on our channel, I went over to Katie from Greenland Quilter, and I went over to her channel and did a live stream on her channel. And the topic, we didn't really make anything specifically, but instead we actually had a topic of discussion, which was mental health and wellness, was basically what it is. Her and I have always been very open and honest about our own struggles, and we wanted to create a space in the quilting community within our channels that others could feel comfortable enough talking about their own, giving us their own stories, sharing their own stories, or just knowing that they're not alone. Just knowing that they're not alone in their struggles, whatever their struggles are, and that it's okay. So we started the conversation last week, and we'll continue it each month. But I thought it went very well. So Terry, thank you for mentioning that. I'm glad that it went well. And thank you for watching. I know I saw a couple of my subscribers over there. A couple of them joined, so I appreciate that. Katie's really sweet. She's awesome. Her YouTube channel has just completely blown up. over the last year. She's done a fantastic job of making it grow very quickly. It is a very hard subject, Terry. You are 100% correct. It is a very difficult subject. There's a lot of hesitancy around it, and there's a lot of judgment. There can be a lot of judgment around it and things like that. And you know, there's a lot of apprehension when it comes to people sharing their stories and you know, and things like that. So I mean, I understand it can be a very challenging subject. The conversation that we have is not supposed to make it challenging. It's simply supposed to let people know that it's okay. That it's okay to be struggling with whatever you're struggling with, and that there are places you can go for help. There are places you can go, there are people you can talk to help. Alright, so let's go ahead and iron these open. And then we are getting close there, guys. These are all like the sub-assemblies we have to put together to kind of get the whole thing going. Once these are together, then we have to take then we have to attach our E fabrics, which is this last piece cut that we have here. That's going to be the center of our blocks. We have to put those in the center. And then we can start to assemble the actual block. And so you guys get to see what the block looks like. Taboo. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good word for it too. Yeah, there is a lot of taboo. And, you know, and it's very important. Katie and I are very adamant about the fact that we're not experts. We are not professionals. We are not experts. We are not medical professionals. You should, you know, if you feel that you are struggling with some type of mental health issue, you should absolutely 100% speak to a medical professional, get a medical diagnosis. But we have our own struggles in different ways, and we know what has helped us. So we're willing to share what has worked for us in hopes that maybe if someone else is struggling from something similar, maybe whatever worked for us might work for them. You know, but like I said, if nothing else, it at least opens up the dialogue, and it opens up an opportunity for them to whoever it is that may or may not be struggling, to understand that they're not alone. And that's our goal. Just to let people know that they're not alone. They're not alone, and whatever they're feeling is not their fault. Again, the camera reset again. It's so annoying. I don't know why it keeps doing that. It's really annoying. Like, I didn't have any trouble with the last one when I was doing this. I don't know why it keeps doing that. It's really annoying. I'll figure it out eventually. I might just have to do it as like a screen capture. We'll see. Alright, these are all ironed up. I don't know that I'm going to need to trim them up just yet. I think they're going to be okay. But so we're going to take 2 of these pieces, actually 4, because I need it for 2 for each block. And we're going to go ahead and assemble our E fabric to the end of them. We have this really pretty E fabric. It's this beautiful pink fabric. Again, this camera is probably better. That's going to be the center of our blocks. So one more time, I'm going to go ahead and just to make sure that it's correct. It should actually line up. Oh yeah, it does. It lines up almost perfectly. So I don't need to fold it. I can just line up the edges and sew it on there. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. So these fabrics are the ones that you guys are going to see in our Wild Meadow, our Norfolk Wild Meadow pieces that we're going to be making this weekend, this Sunday. I had cut them up a couple weeks ago now. My goodness, it's been a couple weeks. And then there was enough leftover fabric to be able to cut up most of the pieces I needed for this project. I did have to pull out one fat quarter from my stash to kind of coordinate with it. And I'm not always really great about matching up fabric colors, so I had to phone a friend. I had to call Tony, my daughter Tony. She's my fashionista. She's really good at matching up colors and things, and so I had to call her and say, okay, which one of these goes together, because I can't figure it out. Take a temperature check with your friends if you see them struggling with something. 100%. Terry, that is an amazing idea. Yep. It's always good to just kind of check in with them. I mean, life is hard. Like, there's, no one's life is easy. No one's. Like, no one's. There are always good and bad portions of life. And, for some people, they take the more difficult portions of their life in stride, and they work through it, and they get through it, and there's nothing wrong. And for those folks, I am extremely jealous because I feel like for my own life, when something goes wrong, it just feels like it's amplified. And that's not my fault. That's simply because of the way my brain is wired. My brain is wired a little bit differently than some others, and so it amplifies things a little differently sometimes. Alright, so here's our centerpieces. So let's see if we can get this thing laid out. I have all these little pieces here. Let's get this out of here. I don't think I'm going to need that anymore. Let's see if we can get some of these laid out. So we're going to be making 2 blocks, remember. So let's see if we can get it laid out. Alright, so here's... Let's see, so... we need one of these. And one of these attached to that end. And one of these attached to this end. Like that. Okay, so far. Then we've got our middle section here, like this. Lay that out a little bit further. Ooh. Like this. Now everything is kind of a little wonky right now because it's all got its seams have not been lined up yet. And then we've got this piece here that goes here. And then we've got this one here that goes there. Got this one here that goes there. And that, my friends, is our block. What do you think? It looks pretty good so far. You can see it better on the bigger camera than you can on the zoom one. For sure. Let me see. I'm going to try and zoom in again. If it does it again, then I'm just going to be like, forget it. It is what it is. But I will try and zoom it in one more time. Sorry if this makes you guys a little dizzy. I do apologize for that. So there you go. So now we have enough pieces here to make 2. So I'm going to go ahead and line up these pieces again on top. Oh, ouch. There we go. And then this one here. And this one here. Oh. And then this one here. Alright. So I think what I'll do first is I'll first make this section here, and then this section here, and then we'll put everything all together. So let's go ahead and grab these 2 pieces here. And we're just going to line up these corners here like this. So see, not a super difficult block to make. The directions can be a little bit overwhelming because there really aren't any directions. It's just a bunch of pictures. But when you break it down into smaller steps and you just focus on one little piece at a time, just like anything else in life, focus on it a little bitty piece at a time, it actually goes together pretty quickly. Pretty quickly and pretty easily. But everything, when you're first looking at it, can be a little daunting and overwhelming. But you just gotta break it down into smaller pieces, smaller sections. Let your brain process one piece at a time, and you'll be fine. The background fabric? Yeah, are you talking about this one here, or the... I think you're talking about this one here. Yeah, I do. I'm really liking this whole Wild Meadow project that we've been working through for this Annie's quilt. I love this fabric. Like, this is by Moda. It's called Wild Meadow by... words. They're hard. Yeah, the printed one. Yeah, okay. That's what I thought you were meant. Yeah. It's called Wild Meadow by Moda. So you can find it in stores right now. It is available in stores right now. But yeah, I think it's just so pretty. Just such a pretty fabric. I'm going to try and do it from this end. Obviously, the dark purple is not part of the fabric line. That was my fat quarter that I had to find to go along with it. But yeah, I still think it turned out pretty well. This one goes here. I love this fabric color line because it's not what I would necessarily consider a traditional or a vintage fabric, but it's also not a modern one either. And I know that's kind of confusing, but that's kind of the way I think about it. It's not a Civil War fabric, but it's got that Civil War fabric vibe to it, if that makes any sense. It's like, it's not super bright colors, and it's not, like crazy patterns, but at the same time, it's not a Civil War fabric either. So that's one of the reasons I really like it. It's very subtle, in my opinion. Very subtle. Alright, so here's this piece here, all sewn up together now. Probably should have pressed it out. What I'll do is I'll change the pressing on the... It's alright. There we go. There's that one. So let's go ahead and put these together now. One. So next month we're going to be starting a... I shouldn't say starting because we're going to finish it, but we are going to be working on our first paper piecing block of this series. I tried to pick one that was going to be pretty simple to do, so that it's not going to be overly complicated, so that we can kind of get our feet wet a little bit with regards to paper piecing, so that we can challenge ourselves a bit more later on in the series with different blocks. Obviously, it's going to be St. Patrick's Day themed, so, you know, if you guys can't already figure out what it's going to be. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nod, nod. Patty says she's ready for bed. No problem, Patty. We completely understand. You have a great rest of your week, and hopefully we will see you again on Sunday. Have a great evening. Have a nice sleep. Sweet dreams. This one now. There we go. Oof. Teresa Lynch says her fabrics do not match throughout. I'm sorry, Teresa, what were we talking about? I must have missed something. Let me see. Oh, are all of my blocks going to match with the same fabric line? Oh, you're saying it now. No, my fabrics are not all going to match up. I'm just using up some of the last two of them. The last two blocks, they have kind of matched up because I was using some scrap fabrics from our Wild Meadow Norfolk project, but that won't necessarily be the case every time. The whole point of this whole project, this whole thing, is to use up your scraps. So your scraps don't always match, and so geez, the camera reset again. So annoying. So you know, when things like that, I can't speak today. So the whole point is to use up your scrap fabrics, and your scraps don't always match up together. So fortunately, the last two blocks my scraps have matched up together, but that won't always be the case for sure. So alright, so now all we have to do is attach these three pieces together, and then our block is all put together. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to take these middle ones here and fold them over onto this one here. Now if I had thought this through enough, I would have push these to the outside so I can still nest them up. I'm going to go ahead and just drop a pin in here so that they're nested nicely. So the only seam that we really need to nest up is this middle one here, and you don't have to if you don't want to, but like they're going to nest, like they should. They're going to line up, so I'm going to go ahead and drop a pin in there too. There we go. Alright. Rather sew on this side. There we go. But no, the other blocks that I made, none of the fabrics matched up together. I simply just kind of went in my scrap stash and grabbed some coordinating fabrics that would go together with the block, but not necessarily with the other blocks that were going into the pattern. I know some people that are doing this. I think Brenda said that she actually has coordinating fabrics that she's doing all of her blocks in so that they all match up. And that's totally fine. I mean, if that's the way you want to go with it, that's fine too. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Like I said, the only part of this whole thing is to use what you already have. Whether that be scraps, whether that be from your stash, whatever. Just a fun way for us to use up some of our stash and some of our scraps. Fern says she thinks she might do it scrappy, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, Fern. I mean, even the fabrics that we're using in the blocks don't necessarily have to go together. Like, I mean, they could totally be crazy scrappy pieces. Like, you could just do different colors for every piece, and like, it doesn't have to be, it can be whatever you want it to be. And that could actually be really cool. That could be a lot of fun. If even the pieces within a block are kind of scrappy and don't necessarily coordinate all the way, that could be fun as well. The point of this is to be a little creative with regards to your fabric choices and use what you already have. Don't go out and buy anything new or anything special. Just use what you've got. Teresa says she's doing hers scrappy. Well, that's awesome, Teresa. Teresa, have you posted pictures of your blocks in our Facebook page? I don't recall if you have or not. But if you are willing to, we'd love to see what they look like. If you're willing. You haven't taken any pictures? Well, that's no problem. You don't have to if you didn't want to. If you do end up taking pictures and you'd like to, you're more than welcome to post them in our Facebook group. We would love to see them. Or I know I would love to see them. I'm sure everybody else would too. Go. Right now I'm just kind of finger pressing everything down. I'll give it a nice hard press when we're done. Right now I'm just kind of laying it down. Laying it down. There we go. But yeah, doing it scrappy I think would be really fun. I think that would give it a really neat look to it. And you know, even the blocks themselves are going to be scrappy because like we're just kind of randomly selecting blocks every month. Like I went through the book and I just kind of flagged all the blocks that I thought were really neat, and then each month I just go through and I pick a block either based on the season that we're working in, or the holiday that might be in that month, or maybe it's just a block I like the name of. Like there's really no rhyme or reason to the blocks that I'm choosing each month. So the blocks themselves are already the picking of the blocks is already scrappy. Like so it already kind of fits the scrappy theme, you know. Like last time we did a block, I called it the Infinity Block, or it was called the Infinity Block, and I thought that one kind of fit with it being a new year, and you know, and new changes and things like that, and you know, and to me it kind of looked a little bit like a snowflake, so that's kind of why I picked that one. You know, snowflake for January, and then now this one, it's called Heartfelt. It doesn't actually look like a heart, but the name of it is called Heartfelt, which kind of goes along with our February, you know, Valentine's Day type of theme. So that's why I picked this one. Next month we are definitely going to be doing a 4-leaf clover. There is a 4-leaf clover in the book, and it is a paper piecing project. And so we're definitely going to be doing that. But it may not always, work out that way, When we get to April, May, and June, maybe it'll be a flower block. Maybe it'll be, who knows? I haven't gotten that far in. All right, friends. Ouch. So there is our finished block. So let me go ahead and just finish up the second one. And I'll just kind of hold it up as well so you can see it a little bit better. I'm not sure what's going on here lately. Like, everything keeps moving around on me. I'll hold it up also so you guys can see it once I'm done here. Give you a little bit better of a view. I know the zoom camera doesn't always work very well. I think that the zoom camera has issues because of the background color that I use. I think if I just used a white, like, poster board or something behind it, it would probably be fine. But yeah, I think Scrappy would look awesome. This whole project kind of lends itself to being scrappy, so I love scrappy patterns, and I try my best whenever I'm doing a project to try and keep it scrappy if I can. I just feel like that it just has a more natural look to it. Sometimes you have to have a coordinated look to things. I mean, it just depends on the pattern, but like when we did our yellow brick road, I tried to make sure that the pieces were very scrappy when we put them together. Like, I didn't want there to be any rhyme or reason to the orientation or the colors or the fabrics that we were choosing. Scrappy is just, to me, it's less stressful. Alright. Here's our last one. So I went ahead and finger pressed these together, but let's go ahead and give them a nice hard press as well. Oh, I think my meds are wearing off. Oh man, that hurt. I think my meds are wearing off. Big heavy water bottle doesn't help. Big heavy water bottle does not help that. Let me flip the camera back over, turn that zoom camera off because we don't really need it anymore. There we go. Alright. Just waiting for the iron to get warm. I'll give these a nice hard press and then I will hold them up for you guys to see them. See what they look like. If you are sewing along with this project with us, please consider posting pictures of your blocks in our Facebook group or tagging us on Instagram. I would love to see what they look like. It's always so neat to see how things look with different colorways and different fabric choices. It's always so neat to see how that happens. Yes, it is a very pretty block. Fern says, wow, that is a pretty block. Well, thank you. I can't take all the credit. I think a lot of it is the fabric. There you go, folks. There you go. You can kind of see the background colors there. The light's a little wonky. But you can kind of see the background colors there. Isn't that neat? Let me do this real quick. I keep telling you guys to post pictures on Facebook, and I never do. So I am doing my darndest to be better at it. So here, you guys are going to see me do this. I'm taking a picture of this right now. And I'm going to go over to our Facebook group right now so that I don't forget. Because that's what happens. As soon as I leave, I'm like, I forget. So I'm going to do this right now. Today's block party block. Heartfelt. Felt. Number 556. Hashtag Black Party. Picture. Post. There we go. Ha ha ha. See? I got it. I got it. That's what I start doing. I'm just going to start posting it right here online. Oh boy, Lucas is messing with the slots again. He's trying to give away those thimbles. He really likes giving away those thimbles. That is for sure. The slots are the gamble game, Lucas. Alright, let me go ahead and press this one up now. Go. There we go. And then a nice press. Making sure those pieces lay nice and flat. All right. Obviously it's the same as the first one, but there you go. So even this one kind of like, at first I thought it was going to look like a flower, but now that I look at it, it almost looks kind of like a snowflake a little bit. It's kind of hard to see. We've got lots of lights in here, so it's a little, you'll see it better in our Facebook group for sure. But there you go, folks. There are our blocks. There we go. There are our blocks for our block party video number 2 for 2025. And I think this is actually block 6 for the series. Correct me if I'm wrong. It might be number 5. I can't remember now. You don't have to catch up on the other ones if you're doing this along with us. We're going to be making 12 blocks this year because I'm committing. We're going to do one every month. So we're going to be making 24 blocks total, so there'll be plenty for a full-size block. You don't have to go back and make the other ones if you don't want to, but if you want to, you are more than welcome to. The videos for those were pre-recorded videos. They weren't live streams, so they're not 2 hours long. They're only like half an hour or 45-minute long videos, so those aren't going to be much faster, but you can catch up with 7. Thank you, Teresa. So this is block number 7 in the series. But you're welcome to go back and make those if you want to, but you don't have to. I mean, there's still going to be plenty of blocks to make throughout the rest of the year. So, again, these blocks are coming from a book called The 1,000 Blocks book by Quiltmakers. You can get a copy of that on Amazon. I think there's a link to it in the description of these videos. When I create the videos, I think I put a description with an Amazon link. We're finding that there are different versions of the book, so please be careful with that. Make sure that you're checking that out. I was just going to look to see if there was a version number on mine real quick, just to kind of see. See if there's a version in here or a copyright number. I'm not seeing anything. Oh, ouch. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything in here. Oh, wait, here we go. Mine says copyright 2015. I don't know if that makes a difference or not. So it's a fairly older book. It does come with a CD, and we are going to need that CD for a couple of the blocks that we're making specifically for next month for our block for March. If you guys don't have this, if you guys have this book but you don't have a CD player on your computer, that's totally fine. Just email me with a picture of yourself holding the book, and I will be happy to email you PDF copies of just of the block that we're going to be making next month or any month thereafter if it requires the CD. Because I understand not everybody's computer has CD players anymore. So I'm happy to share with you the block that we're making as long as you have proven to me that you've purchased the book. Because the last thing, I just don't want to be distributing copyright material. It makes me feel very uncomfortable. So you don't have to share that picture with anybody else but with me. And you only have to do it once to tell me that, yep, here, I own the book. And then after that, I'm happy to send you them anytime. Otherwise, you know, Teresa Lynch says she's got her own CD player, so that is awesome, Teresa. I'm happy to hear that. But if anybody else out there needs it, they're welcome to send me an email, and I'm happy to give it to you. Next month, I can actually tell you guys what the block is if you're interested in it. If you give me just a moment here. The block is called, next month's block is called Luck of the Irish. It is on page 115. And it is block number 216. So that is the block that we're going to be making in March. I'll have an official, you know, posting on Facebook and on our channel later. But that is the block that we're going to be making next month. It is a paper piecing block. So it is going to take a little bit longer than a traditional pieced block. Paper piecing just always takes longer. That's just what it is. So you will need to go onto your CD and you will need to print up a couple of pages. Unfortunately, I can't help you with regards to a printer. If you don't have a printer or you don't want to do this particular block, that's fine. That's up to you. Just pick another block in the series. You don't necessarily have to make the blocks that we're making. You can make any block you want out of this book. There's 1,000 of them, so there's plenty to choose from. So if you don't have a CD or this is not a block you want to make for your quilt, then you don't have to make it. That's the beauty of it. You can pick whatever block you want to make for whenever you want to make them. But that's what we're going to be doing next month on our Thursday stream for the Block Party series. So anyway, folks, that is it for today. Thank you again so much for joining me this evening. I'm sorry if I was a little bit whiny about my shoulder. I didn't mean to be. It is still really, really sore. I'm guessing that I probably pulled something and it'll be better with time. So I'll just keep up with my heat in my eyes and some anti-inflammatory medication. And I promise you, if it gets too bad, I will end up going to see a doctor. But for right now, I think we're okay. The good news is I'm not doing any really big projects like wrestling a big quilt on this machine or anything. So I think I'm going to be okay, at least with regards to sewing for at least a few days, maybe a week or two. So anyway, friends, thank you again so much for joining me. Thank you to my moderators for hanging out with me this evening and making sure that everything stays fun and exciting and making sure to keep those trolls out. I really appreciate your guys' hard work every single stream that you guys are here. So thank you so much for that. Thank you to all of our new subscribers. I never did thank our new subscribers on our last video, and I'm really sorry about that. Sometimes I forget to do that at the very end. So it is one of those things where I'm trying to be better about it. But anyway, friends, I will see you again on Sunday morning where we will be putting together block 2 of our Norfolk Wild Meadows project. So I can't wait to show you guys what that one's going to look like. All right, have the great rest of your week, and I'll see you guys again in a couple of days. Bye for now.